Well, howdy, here at Small Boat Restoration. We're working on the Alcort Catfish named Smedley. We're taking off this piece of deck edge trim that's put on at the manufacturer to cover the seam between the deck and the hull. So you see over here, this little seam right here. This trim is not here to seal it up. It's only there to protect from impact and to make the boat look a little nicer. It's held on by 1/8 inch rivets that go anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, or 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch deep, and just through the flange edge here. So a couple of tips when you're taking this off is you drill the rivet out with a here 1/8 inch bit that's designed for metal. You drill it out, you go through the rivet on the top here into the barrel of the rivet, which is in this little hole. You try not to go all the way through to the bottom. It doesn't come from the factory drilled all the way through, but sometimes if you're drilling and you drill too deep, you might go through. That's okay, but you do want to get a little file and clean up underneath there so there's no burrs. But what the primary reason for this video today is when you take the rivet off, it could be, or I'm sorry, the trim off, it could be stuck on there with years of dirt and maybe someone else's glue or whatever. So you can start to pull it off. It might come off easier. You might have to take something and slide it off like this and work it just a little bit at a time, because when you get to corners, if you pull this too hard, this aluminum is soft, you can tear it and you can break this right in half. The same thing if you get remnants of a rivet holding on. So I've taken this and I'll take it and just kind of wedge it off, or on a flat deck on a sunfish you can take a 2x4, lay it on edge and just kind of tap it off a little bit at a time. When you get close to these holes, you want to tap, on either side of the hole. If you tap on one side, this part of the trim might peel off, but this part over here may not, because that's a very weak spot right there. Only a little thin piece of metal keeping this from just creasing and tearing in half. So that's what we've got going over here, is a little bit, it's just kind of hanging on. So let's see if we can do this one-handed, just kind of work it off. See if we can get this trim off of here. Going on. This is not wanting to go, so let's get the camera to focus. So I don't know, the camera doesn't want to focus here, but what's going on is there's a little piece of a barrel of a rivet left in there, so let's see if we can get that out. Even though I drilled all the way through that part earlier. There it goes. And now we've got this piece of trim off, and it's all in one piece instead of being broken. When you handle it gently. It might decide it needs to tear just while you're holding. Like if you hold one end and the other, if you hold it right here, and all the weight of it could tear it. So I don't know why there's fiberglass right here, but we're gonna sand that off, and then we're gonna come back over to this corner which got damaged. Get a better look at it. There was damage here before. It came to us with this patch on it, so we'll get in there and clean the old patch off. We'll put a new patch inside. And what I was curious is if I'm going to be able to save this flange, or if I'm going to have to rebuild it. And I think the answer is I'll be able to save it. But I may have to well, we'll figure it out. I think the key, is to get a little backer in here, seal up, and then possibly another layer of fiberglass to just seal everything up. So we'll see. We'll get to looking at it and figure it out. But this is a 1965-ish Alcort Catfish named Smedley.